Alright, what is going on, guys? We're back and we're going to be talking about for loops now, okay? So in the previous video we talked about while loops, now we're going to be talking about for loops. And generally, for loops are used when you have a list of items. And I know we haven't covered lists yet, but really what lists are is just, right, if we want to create a list, let's create a list of companies, okay? We have companies list. And all you do is create this bracket right here, and then you can start listing your companies. For example, we have let's say Microsoft. Oh, I said Microsoft when I started typing Mativity. We have Mativity. We have Microsoft. We also have Apple, right? We have big tech companies right here. We have what are some other big tech companies, guys? Um, Tesla, right? And let's just end it right there. Okay, so we have four companies right here. And we want to go through all these companies. We want to list all of them out, right? Because these are our favorite companies right here. We want to list them out. We can't necessarily do it in a while loop because we don't really have a condition. We have a list right here. So that is where our for loops come in, all right? So we start by saying for x in companies list, print x. And so all this is going to do, basically what this means is for x or for we can just say for company in companies list, all right? So for each this is for each company in this companies list, right? So Mativity, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, for each of these companies, we're going to print out the company name. And we're going to do that right here. And look at that, we print out Mathtivity, Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla. And so this is a fairly short piece of code, right? We have two lines, whereas in the while loop, we actually need, we need to list a condition. We need to say, hey, we need to make this less than the condition. We need to add one to the condition, and we also need to do certain functions in the condition. All right, and so we shorten this up to two lines of code, and we can print out each company name we want. Okay, and you can do more than just strings, right? We can do ints. We have one. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 9,021. And so for thing, let's just rename this to thing. For number, and let's change this to number list instead of companies list. To number for number in number list, print out the number. Okay, and so we can just print out activity right there, the project name, and then look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9,021, right? We printed out all of our numbers here. And that's kind of neat, right? Because, we can now, instead of using while loops with arbitrary conditions, we can now have a list right here as one of our conditions, right? So we know what we're doing here. We have a list of X objects, all right? And we can do a certain task on all of these objects. And right now, print is the only task we know how to do. We'll learn about more tasks later, but we can do a certain task on all these numbers or objects in the list, and we can execute it. And so there's another type of for loop that you guys might want to know, and this loop is for making a countdown kind of. All right, so we denote that by saying for, all right, and then number in range. All right, and we want to set a certain range, so 1 to 10. We're going to do our task, so we're just going to print out the number. All right, so this is kind of a countdown, right? We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 10. And then we look at that, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 9, right? Because we can't include this 10. So we're just going to say 11 and then all the way to 10. And so this is pretty useful, right? If your code has, if you want to count down to something, right? For example, when a stock closes, you want to count down, 10, 9, 8, all the way till the stock closes. You can use for number in range print number. Or you don't need to necessarily do print, you can do your own function. But here you kind of have a certain range here, right? Range is just a list of numbers and you can do a task, all right? And that in a nutshell is for loops. And there's a lot more things that go with it, but this is just the basics that you need to know.